I want to tell you about the single bass exercise that completely changed how I play. It's not flashy, it's not complicated. In fact, when I first learned it, I almost didn't take it seriously. But here's what happened. Within weeks, I started to feel freer, more confident, and my fretboard fluency skyrocketed, and I started hitting it on my gigs in a completely new way. And when you start to develop this skill, you'll be developing your ability to walk into any jam session, hear a song or progression for the first time, and play it like you've known it for years. Hey everybody, Lorin Cohen here, and welcome back to the channel. You know, when I was starting out on bass, I had this constant problem. I could play tunes that I memorized, but if somebody called a tricky tune in an unfamiliar key, I'd panic. I'd start hunting for the notes on the fretboard. My eyes would sort of dart around the fretboard. My fingers would stumble. It wasn't that I didn't know the basic theory or sort of the basics of how to play. It was that I wasn't connecting the chord progressions I was hearing to what my hands needed to play. I was basically guessing my way through. And I just sort of thought, maybe this is just how it is for me. And then I learned this super simple exercise that I'm going to show you, and it really 10x'd my ability to hear progressions and react on the spot. So a while back, I was getting my master's degree here in New York City at Queens College, and my teacher, Yoshio Aomori, was working with me, and one day he said, let's try something different. And he told me to just play one thing, but play it in every key. Not a scale, not a song, just an interval. At first I thought this is too simple to matter, but then we started adding layers to it, and that's when the magic happened. And when I tell you what started happening to my ear and my fingerboard fluency after just a couple of weeks of doing this, you'll never look at ear training or fretboard fluency in the same way again. Now, just a reminder, if you're enjoying this video and you enjoy my videos, please smash that subscribe button. Please smash the like button, drop a comment below, and share this with as many people as you can so that YouTube keeps sending this video out and they can keep making these videos for you. Okay, so the exercise is this. You're going to play every one of the 12 intervals in every key every day. Sounds simple, right? But here's why it's so powerful. It forces you to master the entire fretboard and internalize the basic DNA of music, intervals, and do it in a way that reflects how tunes and common progressions actually move. It connects what you hear to what you play, so you stop guessing and you start relating to what you hear. And remember that word, relating, okay? That's a key word here. We're going to come back to that at the end of the video. And if you do it the way I'm about to show you, it's almost like you're installing a GPS into your hands and your ears. Okay, so here's how to do this. Let's start with one interval. Let's just take an octave, all right? C to C. Now, instead of moving chromatically, C, C sharp, D, etc., we're going to move up a perfect fourth each time. So we're going to go C to C, F to F, B flat, B flat, E flat, E flat, A flat, okay, etc. Why do we do it in fourths? Why do we go counterclockwise in this circle of fifths? Because so much of the music we play, especially in jazz, moves this way, moves in fourths. And moving this way forces you into every key. Now here's the first twist with this exercise that is going to help with your fretboard fluency. So don't just move mechanically. So again, I can climb up the neck, C to F, okay? And then for B flat, I could shift down to B flat, or I could shift up to B flat. So if you really want to learn, your fretboard or your fingerboard higher up on the neck, you may tend to move upwards, into the neck. You may move down, but move around in that way. C, F, C, F, C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat. Okay, maybe all the way go up here for D flat. So you want to really shift around, keep your brain guessing, break what your normal patterns might be. Now, once you can find the notes, now we're going to connect them to our ears. We're going to sing the notes as we play them, and we're going to sing the interval. So C, C, 1, 8, F, F, 1, 8, B flat, B flat, 1, 8. Let's go all the way up here. E flat, 1, A. We're singing the notes as we play them, and we're singing the interval. And by doing this, we're not just working intervals, we're secretly building something far more powerful that I'm going to talk about at the end of this video. Now, once octaves feel easy, then we're going to move on to all other 11 intervals. So remember, as far as our intervals, we have octaves, we have major seventh, C to B, we have minor seventh or dominant seventh, C to B flat, we have major sixth, C to A, we have minor six or sharp five, C to G sharp, we have perfect fifth, C to G, we have a tritone or the flat five, C to F sharp, we have the perfect fourth, C to F, we have the major third, C to E, minor third, C to E flat, major second, C to D, minor second, C to D flat, and then we're back where we started. So we're going to go through that same process for all of our intervals. C, B, 1 major seventh, F, E, 1 major seventh, B flat, A, 1 major seventh. Same thing for minor seventh, E, B flat, 1 minor seventh, F, E flat, 1 minor seventh, B flat, A flat, 1 minor seventh. We're going to go through that same process all the way down to the minor second. C, D flat, F, G flat, B flat, B natural. And here's the cool thing about this. You don't need to do all 12 intervals every day. In fact, I recommend 2 intervals a day. If you do 2 intervals a day, you'll make it through all 12 in 6 days. Okay, so 2 intervals a day, that could be C to C, and then C to B, right? Octaves, major seventh. If you do 3 intervals a day, you'll make it through all 12 in 4 days. All right, so the math is working with us here. By the end of the month, if you do it that way, you'll have cycled through all your intervals multiple times without burning out. Okay, so why does this matter so much? We've talked about the exercise, practicing intervals, how to move them through all keys, and how they train your fretboard fluency and start to develop your ear, right? But here's the part that most bass players never really realize when they're working on this. Remember earlier when I said to remember the word relate, okay? Well, by practicing this, you are developing what's called relative pitch. It's not absolute pitch or perfect pitch where you can just hear something and immediately, recognize what it is. Essentially, with relative pitch, that's the ability to hear any note and understand how far away it is from another note and play it back on the spot, to relate to the note that you're hearing. That's the relative, relating to the part of relative pitch. Once you have that, something incredible starts to happen. You start hearing the backbone of every chord progression, which is root motion. It's the way the bass notes move from one chord to the next. So if you don't have perfect pitch, you're going to be in this world of relative pitch, right? So what we're doing by working these intervals is if you hear this C to E minor, right? You can pick out that root motion. You can pick out that C to E. Or let's say we have C major to E flat major, all right? You first need to be able to hear that C to E flat, that root motion. And this is what you're developing, that ability to react to the progressions that you're hearing, react to those bass notes, react to that root motion. When you can hear that root movement, you're keying into the raw blueprint of the progression. And that's the key to figuring out chord progressions instantly. That's the essential first step. You're developing the key skill that's going to allow you to walk into a jam session or a gig, hear the first few chords, and play along, to relate to what you're hearing and play that progression confidently without sheet music. This is the skill that turns a player from, I need to learn the song first, or I need sheet music, into, I can hang with anyone, anywhere, right now. And the best part, you don't have to be born with perfect pitch. This is a skill you can build. So here's my challenge to you. Today, pick 2 intervals, run them through this process, run them through all keys and fourths, singing them, naming them. Tomorrow, pick 2 different ones. Do this for the rest of the month. I promise you, you'll 10x your ears, 10x your fretboard fluency, and by doing that, you're going to 10x your ability to hear and react to chord progressions and tunes on the spot. So if this resonated with you, please don't forget to smash subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment below. And if you want to practice hearing root motion from a real session that we did inside my bass improv mastery program, click here.